How you guys doing? This is very important in reference to history and facts. And of course, don't forget my birth certificate's been on record since the day I was born. And they just hit me in the throat, the satellite man did. And they were burning my teeth all day today, Supreme Court. You know, the satellite man was burning my upper lip. And they've been hitting back here. They've been they burnt down on this molar. Now everybody knows a satellite can read the date off of a quarter, or you know how small those millimeters of a coin the numbers are. So in reference to the satellite controllers and the government making up lies, denying the abuses, that is more violations of treason. And it's a violation of the Deeds Department, Supreme Court laws, and it's more lawsuits every day. And I've not received any of the lawsuits. And, I even called the White House several times in the past 20 years about them burning me from satellites. Now, there has to be an investigation to see which government people at the White House was covering that up. That is also treason. Plus, the White House has records of when presidents and government people have looked at my financial portfolio under my birth name. See, they have a copy of my financial portfolio in reference to my mother and father and grandparents and land and property and company names and businesses on that financial portfolio. And the White House has to document when any government person looks at my parents' information and grandparents and my financial portfolio under my birth name. It has to be documented, dated. I think they have to take a photograph of them too, or it has to be on video. So, that's very important. I haven't received any revenues in reference to that either. But anyways, in reference to the point of information of my mother and father's companies, this is not a trick question, someone might say, but this is a very important, serious analyzing of the facts. People want to know, who is the richest person at my mother and father's companies? It's supposed to be me, isn't it? But let's see which person is claiming to be the richest person at my mother and father's companies. That needs to be on the news too. Even if they have to hire, even if the Treasury or the media has to hire a specific news reporter team that goes around asking people at the companies who the owner is, to see who they say the owner is. In reference to mansions and properties of my mother and father and grandparents, of course, I'm the owner of everything. That news report team and other individuals want to know the information. They want, so they need a website where people can look at the information and say, oh, they went to this location and asked who the owner was. And this person said this strange person was the owner. This other person we don't even know. That would be a lawsuit. That would be involving arrests and arresting people and prosecuting people through the courts. This is always very important. This is a high priority in reference to the situation. I'm the rightful owner of my mother and father's estates. I got kidnapped from my mother and father's estates. So someone might say, in reference to the guidelines of this situation, they'd say, well, why isn't he back at his mother and father's mansions? Need somebody to answer that question too. I'm being held hostage, that's why. But not only being held hostage, they've had high-ranking officials in government denying factual certified Treasury documents of my identity. And then they had their lower-level people where they had snowballed their lies and snowballed their confusion as their way of trying to get away with stealing from me and my mother and father's estates. And these people stealing from friends of mine that are celebrities and entertainers that know I'm being held hostage, that tried to send me money. My mother had court cases because when they kidnapped me, most of the times that I got kidnapped, I always ended up in Indiana. You guys know that, right? Like, I got kidnapped from California several times. When I got kidnapped from the Biltmore or North Carolina, I ended up in Indiana. When I got kidnapped from New York, I ended up in Indiana. So there's a history of somebody in Indiana that's been one of the main people that's been kidnapping me from my mother and father's properties in other cities and states. This is when my mother was alive, too. And they kidnapped me after my mother had died, after she had gotten murdered in 93, and then she was frozen, you know. And Walt Disney Corporation and other corporations was supposed to be in court about me getting kidnapped from my mother and father's mansion in Beverly Hills. We need all the people that want to and need to make videos in reference to this information. It needs to be on a specific website. When I look up websites about me, I don't see anything. They're censoring it and they're blocking me from everything. And on the record, doesn't it say that I'm the son of Walt Disney Sr. and Doris Duke? The information, I can't even find that on the internet. It doesn't even say nothing. And I need a driver's license that says that. What's my license plate number say? It's supposed to say who my biological parents are, too. This address where I'm at is supposed to say my biological parents' identity, too. Everything about me is always supposed to have my mother and father's name on it, in reference to who my biological parents are. You guys understand that? And that is a obligatory fact and necessity of documentation. So the question again, which person claims to be the richest person at my mother and father's companies? Which person claims to be the highest ranking person at my mother and father's companies? Which person and how many people are on security at my mother and father's companies? And what is the name of the head of security at each and every branch of the company or district, or, you know, the locations of the main offices? That's something that the news needs to do a report on too. And the news network needs to put input on the website. And in reference to females, somebody's wanting me to mention this, in reference to celebrity females that were contracted to be my celebrity girlfriend in the media, we need those girls to make statements. And some of those girls might have been holding on to millions of dollars from my mother that they were supposed to hand to me in reference to me being around them or me dating them and taking photos in the media, you know, getting photographed together with friends or the red carpet and, you know, Hollywood. This is very important because people need to know why those females never gave me the money if they were holding on to monies, or anybody that's been holding on to monies. We need them to make YouTube videos and Instagram videos or whichever, and TikTok videos. Some people, when I say, try to make some TikTok videos, because I think a lot of people will watch TikTok, and, you know, there's some serious things on TikTok, serious subjects of information. You know, they might have to make, you know, just a particular social media website just in reference to me and my parents and grandparents and family history. And, you know, this government man terrorizing me tries to call me ugly all the time. Well, I'm not that man's race or religion. And there are people of other friendly races. That's ES. There's not a T on that. There's other friendly ethnicities of people that have liked me, that have known me, even my own race, or, you know, in reference to European culture, Italian culture, or Asian culture, or even Latin culture, some people that know me, or, you know, Canadians that know me. This is very important, because this one man that's been terrorizing my life and all his criminals that he has working for him in his organized crime of government have been terrorizing my life. They've been blocking me from my rights of having a girlfriend. There are court records and executive records and corporation records that say that if anybody tampers with my relationships or tampers with my relationship with a female or my friendships, there has to be arrest. There has to be court cases. Because my parents even had court cases that about these people. They would try to single me out and hold me hostage while they would try to play the Trojan horse game of sneaking in on my mother and father's companies, where they try to hijack the companies and they try to make me look like a nobody. So in reference to the point of information, what person is the richest person at my mother and father's companies? And in reference to the deeds department, whose name is on all the properties of my mother and father and grandparents? This is a very important, newsworthy fact that has to be forced to go public. The Royal Protocol in the media is there since I was born, of my identity and who my parents are. If somebody's doubting whether they thought I was a person of royal blood or royal family history, make a YouTube video about it. My DNA has been on record my whole life. And this man that called my teeth fake, I've had the same dentist for over 40 years. You understand that? So this is very important. And what race and what religion is this man that called my teeth fake? And where the fuck did that man come from? What country? What race? What religion? Because my teeth and dental records have been on record at the American Treasury, the European treasuries, the Asian treasuries, and even other treasury departments around the world. So in reference to this government man damaging my teeth because he was trying to confuse my identity, that's physical assault. Anything that he's tried to do is physical assault. Intentional harm, harm's way, physical assault, endangerment, poaching, the crimes of these men damaging my face and teeth, and other things that they have damaged. They must get prosecuted for their crimes. It has to be in the news. Even if they have to open up a new news reporter office, it is a requirement and a fact of law that they have to go public with this information about people stealing from me, people holding me hostage, people blocking me from my mother and father's mansions, which I got kidnapped from my mother and father's mansions. I'm the rightful owner. Doesn't matter what anybody says. They're trespassing over the property lines by blocking me from the front door of my mother and father's mansions, from the front gate, from having access of the mansions that they had kidnapped me from. My parents had no debts. I'm the owner of my mother and father's estates. So back to the point. What person claims to be the richest person at my mother and father's companies? It's supposed to be me. I'm the only owner of my mother and father's companies, and I own the parent company, and I'm the majority shareholder of all the companies that are underneath my mother and father's companies. Look up the information. And hello, Wall Street. And hello, court systems. And don't forget, I've dated girls from different countries. And the Royal Protocol is a prenup. People don't have a right stealing my sperm. People don't have a right stealing my money. And my ethnicity and nationality does not comply with the artistry activity of other countries and their mutilation of body parts and things like that. My race does not go along with teeth mutilations either. So that's a cultural violation of whatever person has damaged my teeth. And that person must get arrested. So in reference to the information, we need it known. And if we need to hire a new news reporting team, and other people can provide information on a website. Somebody needs to create the website. I'm the owner of the website. It'd be copywritten.